Before we check out this new mock draft, we are so close to reaching 2,000 subscribers here at the channel. Here at Chat Sports, we launched a whole bunch of new channels over a month ago, and the Commanders channel has been one of the hottest tickets. So help support the channel, hit that sub button, and let's reach 2K today. Coming up on today's show, we're going to take a glance at ESPN's Jordan Reid's brand new 7-round mock draft. We're going to go through all the selections for Washington, see who he had the Commanders taking, and I'll give analysis pick by pick. So let's not make you guys wait any longer. Let's jump into the first of 8 picks Washington currently has, and they went Joey Porter, cornerback out of Penn State, son of NFL legend Joey Porter for the Pittsburgh Steelers for a long time at number 16. Now, Joey Porter last season, here are his coverage stats: 143 yards allowed, no touchdowns, 11 pass breakups, and 0 interceptions. If we think about where Porter could fit in this Commanders cornerback room, you could move Fuller sort of back to that slot corner spot he used to be at and have Porter be your number one outside guy. When it comes to Joey Porter, he's a very technically sound, aggressive corner. Doesn't have maybe the top-end speed, but I think he is a day one starter for any team that drafts him. Now, I want everyone watching to decide who they would draft in round 1. Washington's kind of in that no man's land of, at pick 16, you still hope for some guys to maybe slip from that 10 to 13 range, but you also don't want to zero in on the 20s, right? You're kind of in that middle ground where you're hoping someone starts to slip towards you and maybe you move up a couple of spots to secure the number one player on Ron Rivera's big board. The second round selection Jordan Reid made is Blake Freeland, the 6'9" offensive tackle out of BYU. He was a left tackle the last 2 years for the Cougars. Originally started as a right tackle, so I don't know if they want to bump Charles Leno, if they want to move Freeland to the other side. He's going to have some flexibility, but here's the takeaway. He's 6'9". That's what he measured in at the NFL Combine. He's a monster of a human being. Is he a perfect product? No. But you know what coaches can't do? Stretch players out, literally. They can make guys better, but they don't find 6'9" tackles very often. So Freeland in round 2, this just seems like a best player available pick for Washington. Coming in now to round number 3, it is the golden egg, I'm going to call, for day 2 of the NFL draft. Tyjae Spears, running back out of Tulane. Last year for the Green Wave, 1,500 yards, 6.9 yards a carry, and 19 touchdowns to casually go along with it. He was a stud at the Senior Bowl. He lit it up at the Combine. Everyone is drooling over this guy when it comes to rounds 2 and 3. 2 seems a bit early, but round 3, yeah, this with Brian Robinson, a little thunder and lightning, I think this could be a very solid pickup for the Commanders. Moving on to round number 4, it is a tight end from Old Dominion, Zach Kuntz. So, Zach at ODU through 18 games posted 85 receptions, 836 yards, and 7 touchdowns to go along with it. Washington is really looking for a long-time tight end still, and this could be an answer, or at least a start to solving that question they've been plagued with really since the injuries have clouded over that room recently. In round number 5, Jordan Reid went linebacker, Cam Jones from Indiana. So Cam Jones is a very athletic linebacker. He can play sideline to sideline. He can help in coverage a little bit. He's never been a big pass rusher, though. Last season for the Hoosiers, 54 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 1 sack, and 1 forced fumble. Listen, we have now entered round 5, right? We're no longer in day 1 or day 2 of the draft. Day 3 early on, which basically is code for round 4, is still finding contributors. Round 5 is the last line of defense of can you find someone who can actually make an impact in 2023? After this, you're just looking for lottery tickets and hoping they can make a play on special teams at some point if they even make the roster, because let's be honest, not all 6th or 7th round picks end up making the 53-man roster. So Cam Jones, the selection in round 5. In round 6, they went offensive line. That's Warren McClendon from Georgia. Pick 193 from Brunswick, GA. 15 games last season, 0 sacks allowed. Listen, if you played for the Georgia Bulldogs in the last 2 seasons, good chance you're going to get drafted because everyone saw you play a bunch of games and do it at a very high level. Whether or not that translates to the NFL always, that's a separate thing. As for Warren McClendon, I don't know a ton about the guy, but I know this. I'm all for finding depth at the offensive line in day 3 of the NFL draft because more often than not, the drop-off from first-round offensive tackle to second round is a little bit of a big fall, but from second and third to rounds 5 and 6, it's not as steep as a fall. So you can still find some good productive offensive linemen in day 3, and if an injury pops up, you got a guy who can step in and try and keep the offense afloat. Now, in round 6, I love this pick for Washington 100% because his name is Nesta Jade Silvera from Arizona State last season. Looks like he was with the U at some point. I mean, look at that name. His name is Nesta Jade Silvera. I am rooting for this guy no matter where he ends up in the NFL. Last season for the Sun Devils, 55 tackles, 4.5 tackles for loss, half a sack. You add some big body boulder, 6'2", 315 to the defensive line. Could be a nice nose tackle. Try and stop the run. Now, more often than not, when you find defensive linemen in day 3 of the draft, usually the biggest issue is they can't play 3 downs, which most big fellas can't either. But maybe this could be someone to be a project, work on the bubble to 53. Could be a practice squad player. So Nesta Jade Silvera, rooting for you, mostly because of the name. All right, moving on. Speaking of great names, what about this one? Vilema Fajoka from San Jose State University. I mean, this is really straight out of a Key and Peele skit right now. Sorry, Fajoka. But I think this could be another fun pick for the Commanders, right? Adding another edge rusher here. I mean, when it comes to round 7, you are not drafting for position of need. You are looking for best player available, hoping that guy could actually be an NFL player. And if you find a role for him in 2 to 3 years down the line, awesome, because team needs change every single season. So don't look at round 6 and 7 and think we don't need another edge rusher. We've got so many guys. There's people talking about trading Montez Sweat. Now, you are looking for guys that can make plays on special teams and has a shot of actually making the 53-man roster. So here is the final ESPN 7-round mock draft from Jordan Reid for the Washington Commanders. I like the Joey Porter pick in round 1. He's a very aggressive corner. I think he's going to be a fan favorite wherever he ends up. Blake Freeland, the guy is 6'9". Nice and huge. You figure out the hand placement later. That's what you pay NFL coaches for. You can't pay NFL coaches to get 6'9" linemen. Tyjae Spears in round 3, that's definitely going to be like the fan favorite pick in terms of value because he has just been the talk of the town this offseason. We got Kuntz in round 4, nice. Round 5, Cam Jones, I feel like a 12th grader right now, or a 12-year-old, but listen, this is an all-time name draft here. Warren McClendon from Georgia, and then Jade Silvera and Fajoka to round out 6 and 7 of this draft. So grade ESPN's mock draft for Washington. I always enjoy making fun of ESPN, so you can give him an F if you like. If I had to give him a letter grade, I'd probably go like B+. The reason being is I don't know if you're drafting any. I don't think this draft really finds any impact players for 2023. Blake Freeland's probably a bit of a project, but he could be a really good starting tackle down the line. Joey Porter, I think, is going to need some coaching. He's not going to step in and have like a Sauce Gardner rookie season. Then again, no one really does, but he's got to work on his recovery speed, but he's still got a lot of great things around him. So I'm going to go with a B+, but let me know your grades down below. Hey, if you enjoyed today's show, make sure to give us a like and a subscribe if you have not already. That way you don't miss a thing with more Washington Commanders draft rumors heating up. I mean, April is pretty much here, folks, so stay tapped in by hitting that sub button.